I've literally never met anybody who didn't want to lose weight faster. These are the exact same tips that I give to all my private coaching clients, and they've all gotten some amazing results. So you know it works. All right, let's get into it. Number 1, if you want to speed up weight loss, you need to cut out snacks. And this is one of the lowest hanging fruits out there, but it's also been one of the most damaging things that we started doing to our bodies. Because here's the thing, back in the 60s, back in 1960s, there was no obesity, and they ate ice cream, candy, and desserts back then. But everyone also just ate 3 square meals a day. And then fast forward to 1980, and this is when the USDA introduced the first dietary guidelines for Americans, again, the food pyramid, and we switched to a predominantly high carb, low fat diet, and we also started snacking. And guess what? That's also the time when this whole obesity epidemic started. And for this to make sense, you need to understand a little bit about basic human physiology. And no, it's not just calories in versus calories out. So every time you eat, your insulin goes up. And this is a normal response by your body. So if your insulin goes up, you are in fat storage mode. Your body has to deal with all the food that's coming in and has to convert it to usable energy and all that stuff. So if you eat 3 meals a day, you get an insulin spike 3 times. So you're pretty balanced. Let's say you eat breakfast at 7 a.m. and then you finish eating dinner at 7 p.m. So you have a 12-hour eating window and a 12-hour fasting window. You're break even. You're balanced because your insulin level gets a chance to get low in between your meals, right? So you're only eating 3 meals. Now, if you eat 6 meals a day, especially if you're a late night snacker, you get 6 insulin spikes spread out during the day. So let's say you wake up at 6 a.m. and then you eat a snack in between meals. So you wake up at 6 a.m., you snack, lunch, snack, dinner, and then you eat a late night snack at 10 p.m. What that means is you're literally in fat storage mode all day long. So if you eat from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m., you have an 18-hour eating window and only a 6-hour fasting window. You are in fat storage mode for most of the day. Does that make sense? And the other problem with snacking is a lot of the snacks out there, a lot of the go-to snacks, come in like a wrapper, a box, or some form of container, which means that it's been processed in some way, shape, or form. Remember, there are no bad foods, only processed ones. And the higher the processing and the sugar content, the higher the insulin spike that your body gets from it. Like, nobody really brings hard-boiled eggs or some avocado with some tuna as a snack. We bring granola bars, protein bars, right? We eat Frankenfoods. We go to Starbucks mid-morning and order our Crappy Frappy or Chocomocha Latte. And then we take our pre-workout, you take your BCAA, you take your protein powder, you sip on Gatorade. Like, you don't need any of those things, even if you're an athlete. So step number 1, if you want to speed up weight loss, you need to stop snacking. Number 2, once you stop snacking and you want to speed up your weight loss even more, you want to start incorporating time-restricted eating, also known as intermittent fasting. And I talk about this in further detail in a lot of my other videos, so make sure you check that out. But here's all you need to know. This is the complete opposite of eating 6 meals a day, which is based on nothing but bro science, and I'll explain why in a second. So if you shorten your eating window, you put yourself in a restricted time eating pattern, you're giving your body time to use stored energy, aka body fat, because you're allowing your insulin levels to get really low. And again, that only happens when you don't eat. This is how we evolved as human beings. Body fat is literally stored energy waiting to be used, but you only get access to it if you lower your insulin levels. I told you, it's not just calories in, calories out. And this is one of my favorite questions to ask anybody, and I ask this question on every video. What do you think will happen if you don't eat? What do you think will happen if you take a break from eating? You're gonna lose weight. I don't think you need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. The minimum effective dose, by the way, when it comes to time-restricted eating, is a 16-hour fast. So you have a 16-hour fasting window and an 8-hour eating window. And the easiest way to do this, honestly, is to just skip breakfast, because breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. If that is news to you, well, now you know. And by the way, just to shed some light on how this whole eating 6 meals a day came to fruition, it's based on the thermic effect of food. So it's the energy required for digestion, absorption, and disposal of the ingested nutrients. It's based on the fact that you need to eat food and you're relying on your body to use up some calories to burn it. Basically, you're eating in order to lose weight. That is literally the world's greatest oxymoron. How about this? How about you just don't eat, or you eat in a smaller eating window? To me, that sounds like a better deal. Just don't ingest any calories. Use your own body fat for energy instead. Number 3, if you want to speed up weight loss, you need to eat your veggies first. And this is a hack that's worked for me personally, and I've been doing this since 2012, and it's worked for all my students. And it almost sounds too simple to be effective, but it just flat out works, okay? Especially if you're a volume eater, if you like to eat big like me. So before every one of your meals, you're gonna eat like a green salad, or you're gonna eat your veggies first. But not just any type of vegetable. I want you to eat green, cruciferous vegetables. So I'm talking about broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, and other green leafy vegetables. These vegetables from the cruciferous family are very filling and contain a minimal amount of calories. So you can eat as much of this stuff as you want, guilt-free. And the truth is, most people aren't eating any vegetables as it is. And I used to be guilty of this, so I totally get it. So if that's you, you need to start eating vegetables. There is absolutely no way around this if you want to be healthy and lose weight. Nowadays, my entire plate is filled with like 85% vegetables, and I'm not even vegetarian. I just like it because it has a lot of volume. And all of my clients also eat in this similar fashion. But again, I want you to eat your vegetables first, because if you save them until the very end, chances are very high that they're gonna wind up as leftovers. Especially if you eat family dinner style and you get to pick and choose what goes on your plate and how much of it. You need to load up on vegetables, and you need to eat it first. Like 170 grams of broccoli, for example, contains 50 calories. You know what else contains 50 calories? One Oreo cookie. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you just ate one? Okay, back to broccoli. So 170 grams of broccoli contains 10 grams of carbs and 6 grams of fiber, which gives you a net carb count of just 4 grams of carbs. It also has 6 grams of protein. It contains calcium, vitamin A, iron, and it has 120% of your daily allowance of vitamin C. It's good for you. And if you don't know what 170 grams of vegetables look like, it's a lot. It basically fills half of a decent sized plate. But here's the crazy part, is that I actually eat twice that amount. So I eat 340 grams of vegetables. The other ones are in the form of cauliflower, roasted Brussels sprouts, and maybe some resistant starch like sweet potatoes. So by the time that I get to my proteins and fats, I'm usually gonna be at that sweet spot where I can really enjoy it and not have to feel like I have to go for seconds. And if you want a proven plan on how to put this all together properly, then make sure you stick around until the end of the video. Next, let's quickly talk about apple cider vinegar if you want to speed up weight loss. Listen, I'm not big on supplements and detox drinks because a lot of them are completely bogus, especially juice cleanses, you know, the ones that you can buy from your boutique cold press juice store. I saw a price the other day, it's like $500 for juice. I'm like, what's in that thing? Like, is it made out of gold? I need to get on the juicing business. Now, there's actually a lot of studies on apple cider vinegar that shows that it actually helps speed up weight loss. There's studies out there that apple cider vinegar actually increase your metabolism, help you burn more fat, it decreases appetite, it improves insulin sensitivity, and it even helps lower blood sugar levels. There's also another study out there where they had a control group, a group that took 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and a 2 tablespoon group. And the researchers found that the 2 tablespoon group actually lost more weight compared to the other 2 groups, specifically more belly fat. But keep in mind, okay, keep in mind that the 2 tablespoon group only lost 2 kilos over the course of 3 months. So I'm just gonna stop you now, and this isn't about chugging apple cider vinegar because, 2 tablespoons equals 2 kilos, then 4 tablespoons means 4 kilos. No, you take this stuff to supplement proper diet and exercise. Number 6, speaking of exercise, let's talk about how to use exercise properly to speed up weight loss. And if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that there is a right way and a wrong way to exercise. What you don't want to do is you don't want to get into what I like to call chronic cardio patterns, where you're doing workouts every day that are too long and too hard. You want to have a multifaceted approach, and that's what the next couple of tips are all about. So you want to start by doing comfortably paced cardio workouts 3 to 5 times every week below your maximum aerobic capacity. If you don't know what your maximum aerobic capacity is, you can use Dr. Phil Maffetone's 180 formula, where you take 180 minus your age. So for me, it's 180 minus 32, which gives me 148. So 148 beats per minute is my maximum aerobic capacity. And I want to do workouts below that. So if you exercise in that range, that's where the fat burning zone is. That's where your body utilizes fatty acids for energy. And if you're trying to lose weight, that's exactly what you want. And when you do workouts below your maximum aerobic capacity, you're gonna be shocked how easy and comfortable they are. And I always like to say that, listen, not every workout needs to be a near-death experience. Number 7, if you wanna speed up weight loss, you want to do strength workouts in the form of HIIT 2 to 3 times per week. So HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. A perfect example of a HIIT workout are Tabata style workouts where you go 20 seconds max intensity followed by a 10-second rest. Do that for 8 cycles. So you're working out for just 4 minutes. And if you want a free sample of a Tabata workout, again, make sure you stick around until the end of the video. But what HIIT workout does specifically is it predominantly uses glycogen for energy. It's also a great way to build lean muscle. So when you do HIIT workouts, you drain your muscle glycogen stores, and if you follow a time-restricted pattern and you become more insulin sensitive and you become more metabolically flexible, your body will then start tapping into your unlimited fat stores for energy. You speed up weight loss. Number 8, if you want to speed up weight loss, you need to start doing sprint workouts. Okay, so if you haven't noticed so far, I am a big proponent of the primal way of life because that's how we started, right? Like we evolved as human beings 2.5 million years ago. Like we have been around for a long time and we're still genetically identical to our Paleolithic ancestors. And I don't think it gets any more primal than doing sprint workouts. Yet nobody talks about this stuff. Instead, you see people do the weirdest stuff at the gym. And you know exactly what I'm talking about here, right? And listen, you don't need to do sprint workouts very often. Honestly, like once a week or even like once every 10 days, it's fine. It kind of depends on your energy levels. Like you want to feel good when you do these workouts. Again, going back to our primal way, so our ancestors back then, right? So when they're in hunting mode, they would encounter like a wild pig or a deer and it would run away. And our ancestors would what? Would start sprinting to catch this animal. And it's the exact same thing if you're being chased by a predator, like a lion. You have to run for your life. So what sprinting does is it literally turbocharges your fat burning because your body goes into full survival mode. And that promotes optimal gene expression on a cellular level. It also triggers the use it or lose it response in your body, especially when it comes to your organs. Like you want your organs to be functioning at a high level when you're sprinting. Like when you do sprint workouts, your body looks for old and damaged cells and gets rid of it because it wants to be more efficient for the next sprint. But more importantly, your body looks as body fat as something that's not needed because it literally slows you down. In the wild, the fattest animals always gets eaten first. And you don't need to overcomplicate these sprint workouts. So if you have access to a track or even just a treadmill, just go all out for like 10 to 15 seconds and then rest for 1 minute. And then you want to repeat this cycle anywhere between 6 to 10 times. Or if you can't run, you have knee problems, you can do sprints on a machine like a stationary bike, for example. And because it's a little less weight bearing, you can go a little bit longer. So you can go 15 to 20 seconds all out, followed by a 1 minute rest. And then again, you do that for like 6 to 10 cycles. So if you do 6 cycles of this, that's less than 10 minutes. Tabata workouts that I mentioned a while ago, 4 minutes. If you do 2 of them, 8 minutes. That's why I'll never believe anybody that says that they don't have time to work out. Because A, you don't even need to go to the gym. And B, you don't even need to use weights. Just do body weight movements. Like if you say that you don't have time to work out, that is just pure laziness. And that's okay too, but you just can't complain about the results that you're not getting from the work that you're not putting in. Number 9, and this is another low-hanging fruit that is worth mentioning on every video. If you want to speed up weight loss, you need to get adequate sleep every single night. This is non-negotiable. Listen, if you don't get this part right, just forget about all the other 9 things or 8 things that I've mentioned so far. It's not gonna work. You're gonna need divine intervention to lose weight if you don't get good sleep. Because here's the thing, is that not getting enough sleep on a daily basis leads you to not being a good functional human being the next day. You just don't have any energy to do anything. Notice how you always tend to skip workouts, you eat the worst food when you don't get good sleep. Lack of sleep affects the amygdala, which is the reward center of your brain. So you're more susceptible to temptations, and it messes up with important fat loss hormones like cortisol, which is your stress hormone, ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone, and leptin, which is the hormone that signals your body that you're full. The hormones that I just mentioned don't work the same when you're sleep deprived, causing you to feel hungrier and just crave the worst food throughout the day. Like nobody really wakes up from being out late the night before and says, oh, I really want to eat broccoli and hard-boiled eggs. No, we crave the worst food. We crave McDonald's, mimosas, brunch, or whatever. There's actually a research out there that shows that when participants cut back on sleep over a 14-day period, the amount of fat they lost dropped by 55%. You are literally going against your hormones if you don't get adequate sleep. But here's where it gets crazy. There's another research out there that shows that after 5 days, okay, 5 days, just 5 days, of getting 5 hours of sleep, the participants' health qualified as being pre-diabetic. All you need to know about sleep is this. The less you sleep, the more you weigh. So get some sleep, ideally anywhere between 7 to 9 hours in a pitch black room every single night. The next person I meet who complain about getting enough sleep at night would be the first. And number 10, give it some time. This is always a highlighted tip on my channel, is that you need to give this stuff some time. It didn't take you a few days or a couple of weeks to put on all the weight that you're trying to lose. It probably took you months, if not years. So why would you think that you can just drop it overnight or 1 week? It doesn't work like that. And I know that it's easy to fall into this trap because we live in a society where it's all about instant gratification, right? We want results right away. But level with me on this, okay? I always say there are levels to this. Let's say you have a lot of weight to lose and you lost 2 pounds of fat every week, which is a very sustainable way to lose weight. Like, can you be more aggressive and lose 2.5 or 3 pounds? Sure. But then you're really gonna have to start eating way less food than you're used to. But to make things simple, again, let's use 2 pounds of fat loss. If you multiply that by 26 weeks or 6 months, that's 52 pounds of fat gone forever. I don't care how much weight you have to lose, a 52-pound fat loss is life-changing. So give it some time. And if you follow all 10 things that I gave you in this video, you're gonna speed up your weight loss, so it's not a matter of if you're gonna lose weight, it's only a matter of when. Now, if you enjoy this video, then you don't wanna ignore this one. And always remember, it's not about the weight you lose, it's about the life you gain. I'll see you in the next video.